Good morning. We'll get started. So you can stretch up, settle in. We're going to do a feel rest practice today, a little different from what we normally do, where usually we go in a systematic manner. Today we'll just float our attention through the body and see what happens. So just start by taking a few slow and gentle breaths. Each time, try to exhale a little longer than you inhale. Allow your forehead to relax, your jaw to open, and your shoulder to drop. Whenever you're ready, we'll start with five-finger breathing. Five-finger breathing is where you keep your left palm facing towards you, your right hand index finger at the base of the left hand. And as you inhale, you breathe in. And as you exhale down, just slow down your breathing a little more than you normally do. Breathe in and breathe out. Repeat this at a comfortable pace. And once you reach the thumb, go in the reverse direction to complete one cycle. As you breathe in, you move up. And as you breathe out, you move down. Repeat this at least for 3 cycles. Your concentration is on the movement of the finger, your breath, and the touch. Do it at a pace that works for you, that's comfortable. And whenever you're done with 3 to 5 cycles, just stay with bodily sensations. You might notice relaxation. You might notice that your shoulders dropped a little. Your entire body feels more relaxed. Label it as rest. And if you don't feel any relaxation, just label the bodily sensations as feel and stay with it. In this practice, We try to find or create rest in the body. We narrowly focus our attention only on the body and try to find and create rest. Anything you see, sounds you hear, thoughts you have, all are a distraction. So each time you repeatedly train your attention to come back to bodily sensations. You can find rest in your breath, in neutral body points, in absence of emotions, or you can create rest by tightening, relaxing various body parts, using the phrase relax, release, soften. Just scan your body and see if you're able to find rest or you need to create rest. Both are fine. And it might even happen that there is no rest available to you. Just label it as feel and stay with it. Every few seconds, train your attention to come back to the body and to continue to find or create rest. If you're unsure which part of the body to find or create rest in, the easiest to find rest is your breath. You can start from there. Move on to neutral body parts. And then you can create rest in areas in the body which are feeling tight, heavy. Maybe your shoulders, your back. Just see what your body requires, what is available in the body. Every few seconds, continue to find or create rest. Use labels. They can help retain attention in a place. I'll repeat this for another minute. Find or create rest in the body. can create rest sometimes by just bringing attention to your forehead. You might notice your entire face relax. Now, gently, you can let go of that and bring your attention to setting your intention for the day if you're starting your day. Think of all the things you need to do and think how you'd show up for today. What quality would you like to embody today? Now, gently bring your attention towards your body and greet your body like it's your best friend. Move through every part of the body, acknowledging, appreciating what these trillions of cells do for you. They work so seamlessly to make you do everything. Take a moment to appreciate that. Night as you slept, you didn't have to ensure your heart was beating, your lungs were functioning. There's just this innate trust that the body is going to take care of everything. Now, gently place your right hand on your chest and repeat these statements of loving kindness. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be safe in body and mind. May I live life with ease. Now, gently send these wishes to friends, family, loved ones. Visualize them being happy, healthy, peaceful, and safe. Now take a moment to reaffirm with these words. Everything is always working out for my highest and best. I choose to let go of thoughts, behaviors, patterns that don't serve me any longer. I am safe. I am loved. And I trust the process of life. Take 3 slow and gentle breaths. Each time exhaling longer than you inhale. Rub your palms together, place it over your eyes, and gently transition out. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. In case anyone would like to ask anything, you can stay, else you're free to leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. Have a wonderful day. Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Yes, please, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I have a few questions.
Yes, please.
So one thing was, I noticed that sometimes when I'm doing the five-finger breathing,
Hmm?
if the breath is short, so then I breathe twice just while going up one finger. Is that okay?
Breathe twice, as in you inhale and
Exhale.
you exhale. So it's also okay to pause, take in a few slow breaths, and then continue. In fact, that is why, with the breathing, a lot of people struggle sometimes with that. When you focus on your breath, you start noticing that you're breathing very shallowly.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's okay to also just pause, take a few slow breaths, and restart.
Yeah, because I have a nose block, so I was not able to inhale deeply. So
Yeah.
I
No,
was
and
able.
that's okay. That's okay. See, if you have a nose block and a practice like this also is uncomfortable, don't bother doing it.
Acha, okay.
Okay. So, one thing, especially with the nose block and all, if you're doing any pranayam practices, avoid things like Brahmari and a few practices which require to forceful exhalation and things like that you avoid. And even otherwise in regular normal breathing practices, if you're comfortable, see, the thing is, breathing has to feel at ease,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah,
with
because
the
otherwise it feels uncomfortable after doing it.
yeah, and that's not very helpful, right? So just do slow breathing at a pace that works for you. And even if you're doing 5-finger breathing, pause, take a break. Do, even if you're doing one cycle, don't worry about the number of cycles, right? Even if you're doing one cycle, whenever you hear me say transition to just sitting with your body, just transition and sit with your body.
Okay, yeah, that helps.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
bit of guilt that comes in about not doing it.
No problem. No, especially with, the physical thing, you need to be a little careful because you don't want being uncomfortable when you're breathing or feeling more agitated than you started off with, right? That's not the goal.
The other thing I noticed was, I noticed one side of my forehead was feeling relaxed, the other wasn't feeling very relaxed. And
Uh-huh.
at the same time, there was sound from one ear, and in comparison to that, when I noticed the other ear felt kind of at rest. So,
Yes.
is it okay to notice in comparison also?
Yes. So that beautiful, that's sensory clarity, right?
Hmm.
Sensory clarity is being able to track experiences as they happen to you, right? In
Hmm.
real time. So it's okay to have, everything is okay because there are experiences happening to you, right? You like
Hmm.
it, you don't like it, they're happening.
Right.
Even if you're going to be not okay with it, they're still going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
that is where the equanimity piece comes in, the skill of equanimity, where I notice this, that, one side seems restful, the other side doesn't. Can I be okay with that?
So I was okay with it. I was just wondering if it's okay to take my attention like to the other ear because there's a sound in one ear. So that prompted me to
Yeah.
go to the other
Yeah.
ear.
So today's practice was feel rest. So we were
Hmm.
focusing only on the body, not on
Hmm.
sounds, right? So
Ah,
sound
right.
becomes a distraction. So you bring yourself back to the body. But rest does not just happen in the body, it also happens in the sound space. It also happens in the visual space.
Hmm.
Rest in sound space is silence.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. It's also
Right.
okay to, during the day, or like you said, 1 year I'm able to hear sound, 1 year there's rest, and I want to prioritize rest now, right?
Hmm.
So, for example, if there's drilling sound, okay,
Hmm.
and I'm constantly focusing on the drilling sound, it's creating irritation, anger, whatever, I can zoom into everything else which is not the drilling sound,
Hmm.
which is more restful to my system, and I can focus on. So it's
Hmm.
absolutely fine to notice the polarity that exists, that
Okay.
there is activity, there is restfulness, both of it available to me at the same time.
That is-
It's
hmm.
absolutely fine, but try to stay in the sense category that you're focusing on and working with.
Right. Right.
Right, that because ultimately you're building concentration, clarity, and equanimity. Now when you
Hmm.
start from next week, we'll start introducing see, hear, feel again. And in see, hear,
Hmm.
feel, when you're practicing, now you can notice that's see and that's rest.
Hmm.
So when you're noticing rest, so hear and rest. So you're
Hmm.
basically again improving your sensory clarity by training your mind to see that rest is constantly available to me.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
Because
making sense.
also what
Yeah.
also what happened was at one point I noticed a mental rest, but then I
Mm.
realized we were focusing on rest in the body. So then that would be a distraction, right? So I come
Yes.
back to what I'm feeling in the body.
Yes, yes. In this
But it-
practice. So you can
yeah, in
just
this
do,
practice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, during the day, you can just decide, okay, I want to focus on rest in any of the three sense categories. Whenever
Okay.
I come across anything restful, today I'm going to pause and stay with it. Right? It can be suddenly I note silence. I remind my mind that that is rest. I note absence of thoughts. That is rest. I note that instead of looking at something, I'm seeing through it. That is rest. Right? So it's absolutely fine. So the key is when you do whatever practice you're doing, you need to be clear what's your concentration, clarity, and equanimity.
So that's where I think my concentration is kind of wavering because I'm getting confused between the two. Yeah, but today I could come back. I could realize I'm in the
Yeah,
mental state and I could come back to the physical body and look
yeah.
for rest.
Absolutely. And noticing that you've moved away is sensory clarity, coming back is concentration.
Hmm.
You're building
Right.
your skills, right? The fact that, oh, I'm not focusing on what I need to focus, that's sensory clarity also. A lot of times we don't even realize, are we even concentrating? Like right now, I have like 20 tabs open in my laptop. I have too many things to do. Okay. And you suddenly realize you've started somewhere, in between you've gone somewhere else. Not one task is complete, right? So
Totally.
yeah, so being able to notice that is also a skill. So
Hmm.
it's beautiful. No, I really rich questions. I really like, because that's how we progress in practice. That's how we know that, okay, this practice is benefiting us, it's helping us, and
Hmm.
this is how my skills are building.
Right. And it was really nice you said about the tabs because this happened just yesterday. There were too many tabs open on my phone actually. And I was like, I can't get anything done. What is wrong? And the
Yeah,
way you said, if I just notice it, it just makes me feel less guilty. It's like, okay, I am aware that this is happening,
yeah,
and now what can I do about it? So it
absolutely.
gives a sense of relief instead of, getting hyper or feeling guilty about not
Yeah.
focusing on any one thing.
Yeah, yeah. Because to focus on, you need to be intentional, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
problem happens because we're not intentional. Okay, intentional as in,
Wow.
yeah, we want to do things, right?
Hmm.
I want to send a mail, I want to create a poster, I want to also do some personal work, and I also want to post on LinkedIn. I also want to do, this is a list of things I have. So when I'm not
Hmm.
intentional, what is the first task I'm going to pick and do today?
Hmm.
Right? And I'm going to focus only on that task. So I make that my concentration, clarity, and equanimity. Okay. So
Right.
so for example, if you're shopping on Myntra, okay, your concentration is, okay, what do you want to buy? Do you know what you want to buy? Okay.
Hmm.
I want to buy a shoe. Okay. What shoe? Black shoe. Okay. I go on to Myntra, I look for black shoes. It'll throw up a million pages, right? It'll have thousands of options.
Hmm.
Obviously, I don't have the time to go through every option. How much time am I willing to allocate to going through shoes? Okay. How much time am
Hmm.
I willing to allocate? Then I decide, okay, probably I'm going to go through 3 pages. What I find in 3 pages. Then I add it to cart, add a few to cart. I go to the cart and I check out, is this what I want? I don't want. And ideally time it, because otherwise you will keep going in and out, in and out, in and out. You will buy nothing for months. And I've done it.
I
So that's
I
why.
done it just last night, and this is so helpful that setting a time for it. I have wasted most of my evening just
Yeah.
browsing and not being able to buy.
Yeah.
So yeah, setting a time would be awesome because then there are distractions. They suggest other
Yes.
products, and
Yes.
eventually you get lost. And by the time you realize you're lost, you wasted much more time.
Exactly. That's where it's very interesting. We think concentration, clarity, and equanimity happens only in practice. It can happen when you're shopping in Myntra. Your concentration is to
Exactly.
buy a black shoe. Okay. So suddenly it might throw up some options of having a jewelry or to go with it or whatever, but you keep
Exactly.
coming back to buying the black shoe. And your
Hmm.
sensory clarity is, okay, I suddenly somebody's come at the door, I have to go answer the door. Then I remember I have to keep milk, whatever. But you
Hmm.
realize that I need to come back, finish this.
And I realize I'm clicking on too many things. I need to come back to what I want to buy.
Yes, yes. And that is where concentration, clarity, and equanimity skills show up. It's not just in practice. Somewhere that's what happens to us. We think, okay, I'm practicing, I'm going to do the practice. Everyday life and everything, this can show up. And you start
Mm.
noticing the more intentional you are about what you do, the faster it gets accomplished. And
Mm.
you're able to manage things a little better.
Mm.
Right? So that's
And
the
repeatedly
interesting thing.
doing the practice really helps because it becomes like a habit. So then during the day there are these micro moments when you do become aware. It
Yeah.
may not be a major chunk of time, but even those minor moments, you start feeling better about yourself because you've accomplished something or just made your life a little bit better.
Yeah. And those micro movements are basically, in fact, we in we call them micro hits. But they're
Mm.
called micro
Mm.
practices. Okay. It's a short burst of practice. It can go from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. The goal is you are training your attention no matter if you do it for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, or 30 hours. Right?
Mm.
You're still training your attention. The key becomes the quality sometimes is way higher in micro practices because you're
Mm.
intensely focused compared to you're sitting for 1 hour and your mind is going all over the place. You're doing nothing. And
Nothing.
it's way better to do 1-2 minutes multiple times a day.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
I've
So
heard of micro
yeah,
hits so many times, but yeah, now it makes sense that small hits make more sense because you're more intensely focused at that time.
yeah. And it's
Makes a
not
lot
to
of
say
sense.
longer practice doesn't have its benefits. It has huge benefits, right?
Mm.
But the fact that, okay, you're going through a patch in life where you don't have time to do a long practice. You don't
Mm.
have the ability to sit. Sometimes people are unwell. People are tending to people in the hospital.
Mm.
Multiple micro hits, right? So something I
Mm.
used to use as a reminder to practice is whenever I have a reaction,
Mm.
right? That becomes my reminder to practice because I tried alarms,
Wow.
I tried various things. So I said, okay, whenever I'm going to have a reaction to things, I'm going to pause and notice what's happening in my CEOP,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And that's powerful. You start just noticing how it builds and builds and builds, and how these micro movements actually have a huge impact.
Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Preeti.
Thank you, Pratiksha. Always wonderful chatting with you. Take care.
Same.